welcome back to the Ashes debrief. Day one here in Adelaide is done. I've got Guha and Michael Vaughan alongside me. Australia finished the day 326 for 8. Before we get going, guys, it doesn't feel like the Christmas test. It says the Christmas test. I'm too hot, I'm too bothered. I'm throwing my hat on the floor.
Although there are a few early Christmas presents from Australia today.
Keeping it on?
I'm staying in the spirit, yeah, it's Christmas out.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like Christmas though,
Get
guys.
it
It does. No, I can't bend down. I'll go off camera. We've got to start the conversation. Alex Carey given not out on 72. In his press conference said he hit the ball, he was caught behind, given not out. The technology, there's been some talks about it throughout this test match, but it was wrong there, right?
Well, it was wrong because he said that he definitely nicked it, but I'm going to hand that over to Michael Vaughan.
Yeah, I think there's been a few scenarios in this series where you've been a little bit sceptical about the technology. Alex Carey is such a good guy that he gave it away straight away. He walked down to Pat Cummins and his shoulders drooped and he was like, I've just got out on 72, I want an Ashes century. And you could actually see him say to Pat Cummins, think of it that. So if you know you've hit it and you get away with it, you've got to make the most of it. And he's now got an Ashes Test match century. You can't take anything away from him. He played a beautiful innings. He pretty much hit the middle of the bat from the first ball that he went out there. He's becoming such a consistent counter-attacker at 6 or 7 for Australia. White ball cricket, in red ball cricket. He's becoming Mr. Dependable. When the Aussies need someone to get some runs, Carey's the man.
Well, Saker's come out and he said that England might take it further. What on earth does that mean? How do you take it further when, I guess, the technology's wrong, so where does further go?
Well, I imagine they'd have to, the question firstly go to the match referee, but then on to the broadcasters and understand what's happening in the trucks. But yeah, I think from a player's point of view, you can sort of understand if the technology has gone down and you don't have all the information available. It's the fact that the information was available. There wasn't enough evidence to give that dismissal out because there looked like there was a clear gap between bat and ball, and the line came way before the ball went past the bat. So it's one of those where as a player you just get frustrated because you feel like you can't trust it.
I completely get where England are coming from.
Yeah.
2-0 down in the Ashes, you know you've got to win this test match to keep the Ashes alive. You've lost quite an important toss, it's a dry wicket, and you've got Alex Carey on 72 and he's hit one behind, it's not given. I can completely understand why England are frustrated.
Well, we saw it in the couple of the other test matches and the match referee came out and said the technology will be 1 or 2 frames behind. This one seems to be in front. So it's going to be a massive talking point moving forward, the technology, and players just aren't going to trust it like you say, Ish.
Yeah, it will be a talking point. I think it's a difficult one for the umpires to understand exactly what's going on with the technology and what they have available to them. So, you know, these questions obviously will be asked because Alex Carey is said that he definitely got a nick on it. You know, I'm sure this will develop throughout this test match.
Well, that's David Saker, by the way, England's bowling consultant, that said they're going to take it further. Lighter note, Australia averaged 580 when they bat first here. That's some bottles or something going down below us, if you can hear them.
Lots of empty ones.
Happens all the time when we're doing this show. They averaged 580 since 1994 when they bat first here at the Adelaide Oval. So, Vaughan, my question to you is, whose day is it today?
I think it's a hard one, and I'm certainly not the person to sit on the fence usually, but I do think it's a flat day. 8 wickets, England will be delighted because the ball didn't deviate. There wasn't any swing, there wasn't any seam. The odd ball kept a little bit low. He's still getting rid of his bottles. He's had a great day, the guy down there. But there was batters caught in front of the wicket, which tells you there's a little bit of stoppage in the pitch. I'm looking at spin. This is a dry pitch here at the Adelaide Oval. Nathan Lyon is a world-class performer, but the one thing that England have got in their favour, Nathan's not been playing any cricket. You know, he's not been bowling. It's going to be absolutely scorching on day 2. Pat Cummins is back into the Australian side. He's not been playing any cricket. So England, if they bat with some sense, and that is always a big if they come back with a great deal of sense and bat for their bowlers have put in hell of a shift today. They've got 8 wickets, get the 2 in the morning, and then those batters' job, yes, to score runs, but also to assess the conditions and the situations out there. Australia will go on the attack early, new ball they will do, and then they'll put boundary riders, short mid-wicket, short extra cover, they'll bowl full, they'll try and get the big drive, they won't over-attack. I know what they're going to do. So if I know what they're going to do, you'd hope that the England batters...
Well, Harry Brooks come out and said, I've played some stupid shots. So there is been a little bit more accountability taken.
Yeah, but it's just sense. Bat the whole day tomorrow. Roast Australia out in the heat of the Adelaide Oval. Take them into day 3. Try and get a lead. They're going to need a first innings lead. They're going to have to get a decent amount because batting last on that wicket is not going to be easy.
What do Australia not want the most? Stark has already bowled about 70 overs in this series. They want to bring him back, keep bringing him back. He's not really had to adjust his length at all this whole series. He's just bowled that full length, made them play, and they've just given it to him. So they want to be able to bring back Mitch Stark for more overs, make him have to bowl the short ball stuff because Pat Cummins, we don't know where he's at with his fitness. He said he wants to be at full tilt, but he's naturally going to be a little bit tentative. Scott Boland's going to have to get through his overs, and then Nathan Lyon. If they can apply pressure to Nathan Lyon on this surface when it isn't turning as much, then that could potentially, that could lean in England's favour psychologically as much as anything else. But it's going to be the best of the batting conditions in this Test match. It's going to be flat. It's going to be super hot. It's going to be tough for the bowlers.
Super hot, 39 degrees it's meant to be tomorrow. Have either of you ever played in temperatures that hot, and how do you not just melt and die?
I have in India and here in Australia. Running into bowl, it's felt like you're running into a hairdryer as you're running in, and you're pretty much
your blow dry, stay like this.
Yeah, exactly right. You've got a bead on by the time you get to the crease and you're trying to get through your overs. It's going to be tough work out there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you just bat. But I'll give England another tip.
It's easier for batters.
Exactly. And what are England going to be doing? You'd hope for the majority of day 2 bat.
Yeah.
So you keep the Australians out there. You keep them out there all day. You make Pat Cummins bowl the first spell, the second spell, make him come to his third spell. You make Nathan Lyon really work for his wickets. If he's going to get wickets, make him work for it. Make him bowl loads of overs. Take them into day 3. The one thing that England can't afford is one really bad day of batting. If they bat badly tomorrow, the series is gone. So it's on the line, it's on the edge, this Test match series. They've had a decent first day, like they've had decent days in the series so far, and then the next day we come back and go, oh no. They've got a chance to
Christmas hats will be off tomorrow.
Yeah, I won't wear my Christmas hat tomorrow. If they bowl out tomorrow, this hat's gone.
I want to talk about a few of our bowlers today, or England's bowlers today, sorry. Will Jacks in particular. England again have decided not to go with a frontline spinner. Nathan Lyon sat on the side licking his lips. Is Will Jacks a good enough bowler at this level? Because he's just been tonked everywhere. Yes, he's picked up a couple of wickets, but they were given to him really.
Yeah, I mean, they're 2 big wickets. Alex Carey and Usman Khawaja, the 2 main run scorers for Australia. Look, he's a part-timer. That's what he is. We can't be expecting that Will Jacks is going to come and bowl like a Tim May or a Nathan Lyon or a Daniel Vittori. He's not that kind of bowler. He's a part-time spinner, a white ball spinner. You're going to get inconsistency. Australia, I thought, played him nicely. They realised that they'd go after a part-time, and they did hit him at over 5s. But you look at the end of day 1 and you think, if you'd said at the start of day 1 that Will Jacks would have got Alex Carey out and Usman Khawaja, you would have taken that.
Yeah. Well, he went for 105 off his 20 overs.
Yeah, and he's going to go for runs. He's a part-time. Look, I think England should have played the front-line spinner, but clearly Shoaib Bashir is not bowling well enough. But my kind of question to that is, when has he bowled well enough away from the England setup to play for England? So they've trusted him over the last 2 or 3 years to play in the England side. Ben's captained him incredibly well. He's got over 50 odd wickets to the 21-year-old spinner. But what they've seen here, and I've not seen him bowl in the Lions game against England, Aussie 8, I saw the figures, but clearly he's not releasing the ball out of their hand for them to go, you can play in this Test match. So I kind of get where they've gone, but you've got to play your front-line spinner generally when you come to the Adelaide Oval.
They wanted to keep Will Jacks because of his batting, and he played pretty well up at the Gabba, so he adds with the batting. He did actually get some revs on the ball. I was surprised they didn't bowl at Joe Root at all today.
Yeah, me too.
Because of the revs that he gets on the ball, and he does have a knack of taking wickets as well. So look, I think Australia played him really well. He was up against the best of the batters in terms of playing spin. Usman Khawaja, Alex Carey. I thought he bowled really well to Josh Inglis, the right-hander. He was getting the line really consistently right outside the line of off stump, and he was able to beat both sides of the bat. But there are so many left-handers in this team. You want your off-spinner to be able to create problems, and he might come into it later on in the Test match.
Let's see how Nathan Lyon bowls.
Yeah.
I think it's always the adage, isn't it?
The only thing I'd say about Nathan Lyon is he gets a lot more bounce. Will Jacks was bowling it really, really flat. He was getting revs, but he wasn't getting the overspin that Nathan Lyon gets. You can never judge a pitch
until both teams have batted and both teams have bowled on it.
Well, speaking of a bowler, I want to talk about Jofra Archer because he got champed in the last game. by Steve Smith, only turning up when it doesn't matter champ. Well, he bowled some rockets today, didn't he, Isha? He looked good today.
He did look good. I do actually think England still didn't make the most of that new ball. I think it took them too long to get the lengths right, and on this sort of surface you need to make the most of that first 10 overs. And actually Ben Stokes came in and bowled with a new ball, the second new ball later on in the day. Jofra Archer, he was brilliant in different moments of the game today. He kept coming. He was excellent when he was able to extract Jake Weatherald, and at different times he looked really threatening. And on these pitches, when that ball gets a little bit softer, you need someone who can bowl that 145 mile an hour delivery. And I think he was able to look threatening against all of the batters actually today throughout each session.
Happier with today?
I thought he was tremendous, and mentally as well, because he's copped a bit the last week or so because he bowled really quickly when it didn't really matter. England required him on day one when it mattered in the heat, and he's delivered. He's got 3 for 29 off 16. He was the pick of the bowlers by a country mile. They need him to get a couple of quick ones in the morning, and then England have to bat for Jofra. If Jofra's back bowling tomorrow night, I'm saying this out's
He'll be farting him out.
Well, they've got to bat for the likes of Jofra, for the likes of Ben Stokes himself.
Yeah.
He needs a day with his pillow in the dressing room tomorrow. 2 wickets, give him his pillow. Jofra, you go and have a sleep in the corner. Come back on day 3.
So if he brings his pillow tomorrow, we're happy with him having a sleep.
Absolutely. Do what he wants in the dressing room, yeah, when England are batting. That's why you have to bat well, so you give your bowlers a few hours kip.
Yeah. Before the start of the day, I absolutely totally forgot about this at the top of the show. Steve Smith ruled out through illness. Dizzy spells where he's missed out on games before through a similar thing. Khawaja comes in, back from the dead. His international playing career is virtually over. He scores 82. Is that going to cause some headaches, Vaughan, for Australia, or is it like, oh well, Steve Smith's back in?
It's great for Australia because they've got Usman Khawaja, who played great. He looked so calm and relaxed at the crease, which is always a great sign. And that's sometimes happen when you get the late call that you're not expected to play, and suddenly you're playing. He's probably gone out and thought, you know what, I wasn't expected to play today. I'm just going to enjoy it.
In a different role as well.
Yeah, and he played, but look, he's a good player. Again, spinner, and particularly on these slower wickets that we've got here in Adelaide, he's a brilliant player. You bowl slightly short, he's got that pull shot. Again, spin, he's quick on his feet, got that sweep shot. I know he got out to it, but he's a really good player in these kind of conditions. So yeah, the Australian selectors will know that Usman's going to make it difficult. Steve will come back in. Does English go out? Does Cameron Green go out? Who knows? It's not our problem with Australia.
He's 39 tomorrow, so there's hope for us all, Alex.
Well, I did see that he picked a ball up and gave it back to one of the bowlers in the day, and I thought, don't do that, you might have another back spasm. They can't afford
well, he
for
did
him
3
to go.
lunges before play today.
Did
I thought, steady on.
No round of golf. Right, it's that time of the show where you guys get to ask me anything cricket related, not your weird questions, as I say every time. We've had Rohan in London in touch, and I don't know if either of you are going to know the answer to this, but why don't English players play domestic cricket in Australia?
Because they might not make the team. Let's be honest.
I think it's a great question.
Do you know the answer? We should be.
We called for it after the last Ashes. I remember we spoke about it here. Why don't they play in the build-up to a Test series?
I think English cricket has got to be really sensible and serious about. Clearly they want to win in Australia, but the last 15 years we've not won a Test match. We may win here, we'll have to wait and see. But what have we done differently in that 15 years to develop our players for Australian conditions? Not a great deal.
Yeah.
So maybe we need to have a look and maybe send some of the younger players out to play a bit more cricket. I know New South Wales would potentially have taken an England player. I know Tasmania, we're looking at Tom Hartley playing for them. So I think their opportunities are there. Maybe we're just not asking the right questions.
There have been some arguments in the past that if you bring an overseas player in, you're losing an opportunity for a young player domestically to have those opportunities.
You also learn from them, though.
And also, it's quite hospitable, isn't it, from the Australians to be able to allow an England player to play state cricket.
They don't like him in the grade.
They'd probably put him in grade 3. Where's your son playing? He started in the 3s.
Yeah, he has to bat in the middle.
He's not opening the batting. Guys, I can't take you seriously in those hats, so thank you very much for joining us. Don't forget, we'll be back every evening, and that highlights of the Test match are on the iPlayer from 5 p.m.